me from my winter hell. I've got candles and candy, I can be your daddy if you only let me creep into your prison cell. Hey baby, can you tell I'm not a criminal? Your choice is seminal. I want you to stay true to what's right for you. No matter who or know what will others say, just find your way and try to stay true. Speak low, stand in your row, try not to show this life's a show. Try not to glow way down below. It's a lot of woe, and that's not a place where you would like to go. I've got cigarettes and brandy, which could come in handy if you just help me loosen up my hand grenades fuse. Baby, don't refuse my truth, but it's up to you now to choose. I want you to stay true to what's right for you. No matter who or know what will others say, just find your way and try to stay true. I want you to stay true to what's right for you. No matter who or know what will others say, just find your way and try to stay true, 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 true.
Hey everyone, how are you? I hope everybody's doing good. I'm, as you can hear, still sick and stuffy, so I'm not going to make this a really long live. What I really wanted to talk about tonight and show you guys is this arrest that Nick got before, obviously, he was arrested and convicted with for Dee Dee's murder, right? So sorry, I hate when people do that, and I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have sniffed into the mic. Sorry about that. Anyway, because I was watching Hello Starlight this afternoon. Oh, thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. I was watching Hello Starlight's live this afternoon, and I guess there was some kind of something that happened on the Tickety Talks yesterday. I don't watch TikTok like that, so I missed it completely. And talk about Nick and this McDonald's arrest came up. So, and there's also a video from Gypsy. It's her attempt to calm him down before court. And I thought we could watch that. So what I'm going to do is I don't even remember when I did this. Hold on. Let me see when I did this. Hold on. It used to say, this is unfortunate. Just give me a second. It was a year ago. It used to say when it premiered. I probably could find it on my YouTube studio. But about a year ago, I did 2 documentaries about Nick and Gypsy using really their own words. I have so many screenshots from back in the day with like all of Gypsy's old multiple Facebook accounts, old comments, like comments that don't exist anymore on the DGyp Blanchard Facebook page, because their account has been turned into a memorial account. So nobody can comment on it, but people can still remove their comments. And I have like all of that, like that I, took screenshots of and found. And True Crime for Dummies has a YouTube channel. They have a Facebook group as well. They do all kinds of stuff. I met her back in 2020, 2019, somewhere in that area of time. And she ended up getting the full interrogation video. Well, what we'd been shown in those documentaries was just nothing. And the thing of it is, the people that released the parts of the document of the interrogation had the whole interrogation. And they just chose not to play it. So it was she not only did she have that, she also had all of the reports, the documents from Nick's arrest in at McDonald's in 2013. And she had so that there's the interviews with the McDonald's staff, and then the reports from the officers. And I put that in this documentary. And I always intended to go back and do a third part to it, because where I stopped was Nick and Gypsy's conversation while he was traveling from Wisconsin to Missouri. I stopped with the text messages. So I was going to get into the murder and then, all that. So anyway, I want to play that part for you from my documentary, and I'll put the links in the description, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll watch that video and maybe a couple of other videos. Like I said, I might sound better, but I do not feel better. Like I've got the chills, and it's not even really cold. So I don't intend to make this like a really long one, because I just don't feel good. But I'm glad everybody is here. It's great to see everybody. If you haven't done so, please do me a favor and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whichever you think I deserve on the stream. I would appreciate it. All right, here we go. Also, pardon the graphics. I don't know what I was trying to do. I've calmed way down, but here we go. Let me go back like 5 more seconds. Here we go. Let me go back a little more. All right, here we go. Book accounts, he couldn't remember all of them. For this next part, I'd like to begin with a thank you to my friends Jazz and True Crime for Dummies for providing the documents surrounding Nick's arrest in 2013. Thank you both so much. Without you, this next part wouldn't have been possible. By now, you are undoubtedly aware of Nick's arrest in March of 2013. What you may not know is... So, as you can see, this is the timeline. This is when they made it official. This is from their joint Facebook account. Yes, I'm still me too. The hamburger hooker. I can't not do it. Jen Goodwin, that comment took me out. So as you can see, they started their relationship, Facebook official, October 17th, 2012. All right, here we go. Is that Gypsy and Nick were very much a couple at the time of his arrest. Gypsy was well aware of his arrest. She references it in this clip from her interrogation video.
I'm gonna hit my boyfriend upside the head if he did something. He got arrested back last year for watching porn at a McDonald's. I told him never do that. Why did you do that?
That's an odd thing.
He sure got the earful from me.
I approached the subject.
All right. So now we're going to listen to the report, the narrative. I just didn't want to read all of it, so I used AI to read it for me back then. So here it is. But I think it's really important because I think it gives context to what happened. And I think that, Gypsy kind of always had said that she didn't know about Nick. She didn't know what kind of person he really was. In fact, I remember her saying, and I believe that it was in Mommy Dead and Dearest, she talks about getting either a Facebook message or an email from an ex-girlfriend of Nick's who said he is a bad news bears. And although according to Gypsy in that documentary, right, she had hardly any experience in the real world whatsoever. Like her only contact with the outside world, according to Gypsy, was her mom and basically doctors and hospital staff, medical professionals, and a little bit of interactions here and there at VisionCon, but always with the strict, under the strict watch and eye of her mother, right? Yet she said something in that documentary that I found very interesting. So she gets this email or Facebook message from this ex of Nick's, right? And her response to that is basically that she brushed it off. She ignored it because, it's just an ex-girlfriend, so she's probably jealous. That sounds like somebody who has a little experience with relationships and jealous ex-girlfriends, right? Not this, young, the way that she portrayed herself is this, naive, never, very sheltered. Essentially, she's Rapunzel, doesn't know anything about anything, never met a stranger because, she gets on my nerves with that crap. But anyway, she was fully aware of it. She was fully aware of the charges. She was fully aware of what he was doing. But I think that the narrative from the officer, the manager, and even what Nick said to them is quite interesting. Many people suspect that Nick was talking to Gypsy, and that the images that he was looking at were her. But this is going to clear all of that up, answer all of those questions, and then we'll listen to the new video, and I'll put the link to this in the description after I grab it. All right, here we go. I'll put it in the chat too, if you guys want to watch it now or, put it on save for later or whatever, but here it is. Here we go.
Identified myself as a law enforcement officer and requested that I speak with the subject away from other patrons inside the business. At this time, the subject was identified by Wisconsin photo identification card as Nicholas Goda John. I asked Goda John if he knew why we were at the business and why we were speaking with him. He stated that he was aware. He indicated that he was caught by the manager viewing some inappropriate materials on his computer and he was asked to leave. When I asked why he did not leave when the manager asked him to, he replied that he wanted to wait until his software program updated because he does not have internet at his house. Goda John appeared to be very nervous, as his hands were shaking vigorously and his speech was very slow and stumbled at times. I asked Goda John how he got to this business and he stated he walked. He indicated that he lived on Cleveland Avenue, which is approximately 1 mile from this location.
On March 11, 2013 around 11 a.m. I started my shift at McDonald's. I saw a white male with a beard, black running pants and a red hooded jacket, sitting in the lobby in a corner booth. He was on his laptop computer. He is here every day that I work. I was advised by another employee that he had been here since 10:30 a.m. The male was in the store the entire time I worked today. Around 7:05 p.m. I walked outside the front door to go to my car because at 6:55 p.m. a customer had complained about the stated male watching adult videos on his laptop computer while inside the store. I went outside to see if I could view the male's laptop myself, and as I walked out the front door I saw the male watching adult videos on his computer. As I went outside, I then watched the male from the sidewalk in front of the store, which is a public area, and he was still watching adult videos. The more I saw the male both inside the restaurant and outside the restaurant, anybody could view what the male was watching. It is against restaurant policy to view those types of materials while in our restaurant. The male was clearly visible to any of the public by where he was sitting. I came back inside the store around 7:10 p.m. and observed the male still watching the movies. I was at the front counter of the restaurant at that time and I was continually watching him. As I was watching him and standing over by the milkshake machine, I could see that the male had his left hand down his pants and I believed that he was self-gratifying. You could see his wrist and pants moving in a motion that would lead me to believe that he was self-gratifying. Around 7:14 p.m. right when we called the police, I approached the male and advised him that I wanted him to leave the store immediately. As I did this, the male became argumentative with me and told me that he could not leave right now because he was doing a software update on his computer. I walked away from him and went back behind the counter as he got up and followed me. He continued to argue with me and I told him again that he needed to leave immediately. My other manager, Jamie, also told him that if he didn't leave she was going to call the police. The male then walked away from the counter and went back to the booth where his computer was and he sat down and continued doing stuff on his computer. We had already called the police at this point and they showed up shortly after and contacted the male. I, along with my store, McDonald's, wished to file a complaint for this incident. I also do not want the male back here at my store ever. I am a shift manager for the store.
I asked Goda John what time he arrived at the business and he indicated at 10:30 in the morning. Note that this was almost 9 hours after he initially arrived at the restaurant.
When this happened in 2013, a local news station aired the story. The way the newscaster said the title of the story led people to believe that Goda John was inside McDonald's self-gratifying for 9 hours. The incident report makes it clear that this was not the case. Nick was inside McDonald's for 9 hours.
I asked Goda John if this is common for him to come to the restaurant and stay for this period of time, and he stated yes. He stated that he has gone to the library before but they do not allow persons to view inappropriate material on their computers, so he does not go there. I asked Goda John why he was viewing inappropriate material on his computer at the business and he stated that he was on Facebook talking with other friends, and his mind began to wander and he began to investigate other websites. He stated, "It is just common for the human mind to want to explore other things."
Okay, so this is the part where I think most people believe that it was more than likely he was talking to Gypsy. Oh, excuse me. Hi, Shmina. So that part, I think, is a reasonable assumption. It's never been, to my knowledge anyway. And let me just say this before I go any further. I'm not fixing to buy Gypsy's book. It's just not going to happen. Okay. I have streaming services that I pay for, and that's about as much as I'm willing to spend for her lies. That's it. That's all. So that's just how I feel. That's just my policy. I'm not going to pay for the book. So if she has addressed this in that book, I don't know about it. I've never heard anything about it. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened. It just means I haven't heard it. But at the end of the day, Gypsy's, like I said, a lying liar face who tells lies. So it would be really difficult for me to believe anything that she said anyway. And Nick has never, I don't think he's even been asked. If he has been asked, it's never made it to any of the documentaries. So there's that. All right, here we go.
At that time, he began to view an adult website. He stated that he did not think anyone saw him because every time someone would walk by, he would lower the monitor on his laptop so no one would see. I asked him if he thought it was appropriate for him to be watching this type of material at a business where small children and families have come to, and he stated no. Probably not. While speaking with Goda John, I asked him if he had any weapons on his person and he stated yes. During this time, he indicated that he had a knife located in his front left pants pocket. Officer Weston retrieved a folding knife from Goda John's front left pocket. Goda John told me that he had the knife on his person only for protection. I asked Goda John if he had a concealed carry permit on his person or had one at all, and he indicated no. He told me that he did not know he needed one. He also indicated that he is a good person and he is surprised that he would need one for being such a good person. He also stated that he bought this knife at a garage sale and thought it was fine for him to carry around for protection. This folding knife had a blade of approximately 3¼ inches long with a 4-inch handle on it. At this time, I requested that Goda John stand by with Officer Weston while I go and speak with the caller. At this time I spoke with the manager from McDonald's. The manager indicated that Goda John comes to the restaurant on a routine basis but usually sits in a different seat, one where he positions himself with his back against the wall and they could not see what he was doing on his laptop. He indicated that today, they had several complaints from patrons coming to the business. As they were entering the business they could see Goda John viewing adult material on his laptop. The manager indicated that one patron was very irate and could not believe that McDonald's was allowing this type of behavior happening at their restaurant. The manager wanted to see firsthand of what was going on and indicated that he went out the door nearby where Goda John was seated. When the manager was outside of the business looking into the restaurant, through the large window, he could visibly see Goda John viewing adult material on his computer. He observed a video that was playing on Goda John's laptop of people having intimate relations. I asked Goda John what kind of adult material he was watching on his computer and he indicated that he was looking on websites and also had some files located on his computer. When I asked him if he could specify exactly what type of adult material, if it was adult material or child material, he indicated it was just adult material. He made mention that he is a good person and would never think of essaying someone. He indicated that is why he watched that type of material because he would never do it. I requested that he elaborate on what he just stated and he replied, "I would never essay someone so I want to watch it." I requested consent from Goda John to search his laptop for any items of evidence. I completed a Waukesha Police Department permission to search form of Goda John's laptop which he signed. A copy of this form is included in this report. I requested that Detective Carpenter from Criminal Investigation Division assist in searching the computer as he has special training in the field. Detective Carpenter indicated that there were no items that would implicate any child material being on the computer. The computer was subsequently turned back over to Goda John. While speaking with Goda John, I confronted him with the fact that one of the witnesses at McDonald's indicated that he was possibly self-gratifying while he was viewing the adult material. Goda John told me that he was not self-gratifying but simply had an itch near his crotch area and only put his hands down his pants for approximately 3 to 5 seconds. I asked him several times if he had an erection while watching this material and he stated no. I completed a written statement which is included in this report which Goda John signed. Goda John was booked and then subsequently released on his own recognizance per the authority of Lieutenant Walshlaker. This concludes my involvement in this matter. I am requesting that the charge of carrying a concealed weapon, State Statute 941.23 along with the charge of disorderly conduct, 947.011, be referred to the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office for prosecution.
So there you guys have it. Okay, so he did admit to watching rape porn. That's what he was watching. Okay, and so that is true. He admitted that he watched it, and Gypsy knew this. Okay, which is why I suspect the whole thing about raping Dee Dee came up in the first place. I think it came from Gypsy and not Nick. Doesn't absolve Nick of anything. It doesn't make Nick not a highly disturbed individual. Here's the thing. Two things can be true at the same time. Okay. Gypsy could have manipulated and taken advantage of Nick, and he can still also simultaneously be highly disturbed. Two things are true. It doesn't have to be one or the other, which I think is what happened here. I think that, like I said yesterday, and I've said many times, I think that Gypsy was kind of getting tired of Nick. I think that she was thinking about moving on and seeing what other guys were out there that could possibly commit the crime for her. And I think when he got arrested, what he got arrested for, because he undoubtedly showed Gypsy the paperwork. So he told her what happened. She was aware. She knew. And I think that is what solidified in Gypsy's mind, this is the one. This is the guy that I need to get to do this. All right. So now we're going to watch how Gypsy attempts to calm Nick down before the court. All right, here we go.
Hello, my darling.
Once again, all of these videos are on Into the Weeds podcast. They have generously uploaded these. They've done the work. They've, all of this, and they let people use it as long as they're given credit. So please go over there and give them a subscribe. And if you happen to see that they're live, go listen, because they have some really good information. I know, Shelly, it's hard. Look, Gypsy's voice, she's not going to be asked, she's not going to ever get a job reading for, audio, okay, or Audible. Sorry. She's not going to get a job reading for Audible. Let's be honest. It is what it is. But at the same time, like, it's just part of the deal. I suppose I could slow her down, which might deepen her voice a little bit. I don't know. All right, here we go.
Sweetheart, if you are looking at this, then that means that this video is meant to be something that will comfort you for the next couple of days. I know that you are going through a very hard time right now, and I want to make this hard time for you as easy as possible. I want you to know that though I don't think that the judge will make you serve jail time for something as simple as carrying a pocket knife. Over here in redneck territory, that's just normal. You don't go to jail for that.
Here's the thing about that. You see how she's now switched. So this is the true narrative, right? This is what actually happened. He was charged with carrying a concealed weapon, and he was charged with disorderly conduct. Okay, they're both misdemeanors. He was released on his own recognizance, But at any rate, she switches the narrative. She gets ahead of all of this. She knows exactly why she's sitting in that interrogation room. She knows exactly what's going on. And, but what she doesn't know is what they know. And, so she's trying to get ahead of it. And that's why she tells them, well, because they can look it up. They can look up Nick's arrest record. They're in Waukesha. So, they're in Wisconsin. So they can easily look it up, and they're going to see all of it. But it's important for her to make sure that she starts already painting him as not right in the head, not such a good guy. And by the way, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, looking like little Bo Peep. Exactly, Lisa. I need to say that for somebody who's so malnourished, that is an awfully big bow you have on your head. I'm surprised you're able to hold your head up, being all malnourished and starved and stuff. All right, here we go.
But different state, different laws.
Oh, and by the way, that sound that you hear in the background, that's a washing machine.
But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is that no matter what happens, no matter what the outcome is, I will always be yours forever. I want you to know that might sound silly to you, but I wear this ring as kind of like a symbol. I know it's not a real engagement ring, but to me it's a symbol of hope for us, a hope for our future, a hope for a life together. And I will always wear it to prove my commitment to you and to show you that I'm 100% honest and true to only you and Master. And even if you're sentenced to jail time, make sure, this is a direct order from your wife, make sure to tell Allie what prison and the address, because I will write to you. I know inmates can have letters sent.
Look at all the research she's done. Gypsy, even if he would have gotten time, it would have been jail time. He didn't get charged with a felony, you idiot. You should have done better research. I know inmates can have letters sent. I'll write to you, darling. I know it's not a real ring, but it's a symbol. It's a symbol of my faith and love and devotion, except for when we get caught, because then I'm going to throw you under the bus.
To them, so make sure she knows where you're at to tell me, and I will write to you. There won't be a day that goes by that I won't think about you. And I just last night I dreamed about you. I dreamed about us cuddling and being together, being happy. And I know that we're a long distance apart, but distance can't keep love apart. And it won't.
Now, just for a moment, let's take the word Nick out of the equation, okay? Do you think that this is the first time that Gypsy has spoken to a man in this way? Hell no! This is why Dan ran for the hills, okay? Because this chick comes out the gate immediately as a stage 5 clinger. Ain't even met in person, doesn't even know, hasn't even taken the car for a test drive. Let's be honest, that's important, okay? Ladies, we know. Gentlemen, we know. A test drive. You would never just go and buy a car off the lot. No, 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 you take it for a test drive. Everybody knows this. They haven't even done that. And she's already talking about forever. According to Gypsy, she's never even lived her life. She's never been to a bar. She's never been to a party. She's barely educated. Notice she doesn't ever have aspirations of continuing an education, getting an education. No, 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 no. She wants to be a little Susie homemaker. And don't worry, she's got it all figured out. God.
Keep me apart from you. Nothing will. I love you and adore you so much, and I always will, no matter what. And nobody and nothing is going to come between us. I'm wearing a white bow in my hair, and I thought that it would be calming, and also a white shirt. I thought that it would make you calmer and be more relaxed.
Girl, you came in here with white thinking that it would calm him down, and yet you're talking about forever and prison time and I'll wait for you. Nothing can keep us apart. Shut up. Nothing about you is calming. To use Sarah Boone's word, you're fractious. You make people fractious. Even when you're trying to be calm, you're at like a 15. Dial it down a little, Gypsy. Damn. Hi. Ugh.
But I hope this video makes you more relaxed. Just know that I'm not a cheater and I won't go astray, and as they say, I'm here for the long haul and I'm here no matter what. Now, in my mind, probably all you're going to get is a fine and probably the 6 months you have to stay away from McDonald's. But I hope that's all it is. And I hope that this is over really soon, because then we can start being more happy and we don't have to worry about anything. You know, put this whole mess behind us. And I want you to know that on that day, don't think about anything else. Kind of meditate. Think only of me and you'll be calm. Remember to be respectful to the judge, and remember your manners, and do as they say, because in that position, they're a bit of a higher position than you are.
Now, let me ask you this. If Gypsy was just taking orders from Nick and Victor, the 5,000-year-old vampire, 500-year-old vampire, right? Why is she explaining how life works if Nick is the one running the show? If Nick is in the driver's seat, what is she doing right here? Telling him exactly how to handle himself. Girl, I need a minute, you all. I need a minute. I'm sorry.
I am so tired of you.
I am so, like, I know nobody's over here forcing me to cover Gypsy. It's just that I find all of this incredibly frustrating. And, you know, it's frustrating because yes, an investigation continues after the charge, and you know, it can continue pretty much up until trial. I mean, not all the way to trial. There's rules of evidence, etc. You know, there's protocols. Okay, you can't just be, you can't, be presenting your case as the state, and then the day before you're going to rest, you're like, oh, wait a minute, hang on, we were still investigating and we found all these things. That's not how it works. But the investigation does continue, even after she was charged. But also, what you need to understand too about when a prosecutor charges somebody with a crime, particularly what they were initially charged with, which was first-degree murder. All right. He has to be prepared for them not to waive their right to speedy trial. And I want to say, let me look this up just to make sure, because some places it's 90 days. Let me see. Oop. Missouri. 180 days. 180 days that prosecutor has from the time that the defendant is indicted to proceed to trial. Okay? Which means at the time when the plea deal was taken, all of this was in evidence. They knew it. And you know how I know they knew it? Because it's part of the discovery. This would have been turned over to Nick's defense team as well. It's part of the investigation. It's part of the case file. And yet they still gave her that sweetheart deal. I'll never understand it. I will never, ever, ever understand it. Not second degree and not 10 years where she only had to do 85%. Absolutely not. That was way too light.
And they had your fate in their hands. So make sure you come home to me, please. That's all I ask. Is just be calm. Don't let Master out, because I know Master has a way of being authoritative, and that is attractive to me, but it won't be attractive to the judge. So just please do as they ask. Don't complain. Don't, just be on your best behavior. Please do that for me. Please just come home safe to me. That's all I want. So I love and adore you, and I will be keeping you in my thoughts and in my prayers, and I will be faithful and loyal. I made my vows, and I will stick to them like PB&J. So, I love and adore you, my wonderful, handsome king. I wish you the best of luck. And know that you'll always be in my thoughts and in my heart.
Oh, brother.
Hi, my love. This is actually the second time
Oh,
I'm
sweet
making you
Jesus.
this video.
Hold on.
The first.
What is this outfit of the day? Why is she giving us? Oh God, it's Brittany Murphy's character in Girl Interrupted. Why is she, when they finally got out and they got a field trip or whatever, that's the look she's giving. Also a little Mary Tyler Moore. Why is she giving us Mary Tyler Moore / whatever Brittany Murphy's character from Girl Interrupted was? What? Why? What is this outfit of the day? This is what I mean. And look, she's again wearing white again, and I don't know. It looks like she's wearing Mima's dining room table doily. I don't know. Here we go.
First time I did it all in white, so. But due to master's commands, I had to wear 2 colors.
Shut up, Gypsy. Daisy, that's right. Thanks, girls. I appreciate that. Daisy, that's what her name was. Thank you. Right? She looks like it's the beret. Yeah, Kelly, this heifer. All right, here we go. So she's giving us Daisy from Girl Interrupted while she's wearing Mima's dining room table doily tablecloth. Here we go.
So I'm wearing red and white. So good combo. Sorry, I was changing. 1 second to catch my breath. All right. I'm making you this video because soon you'll be facing one of the most difficult times of your life. That will be being the trial.
Yeah. Girl, oh my God, that pause came though. Oh Once again, we're in the living room, okay? Loud and proud, making a whole entire video. Yeah. Difficult time of your life. Yeah, until you come see me for the second time, and then shit's really gonna hit the fan. Lord Jesus, fix it. Here we go.
And I know that you're nervous. I wish I could tell you not to be, but truth is I'm scared out of my wits too. And the thing is, it's very unfair. I mean, all you did was carry a freaking pocket knife. Over here in redneck territory, that's normal. But different state, different law, right?
You've said that already. What is this? Are you giving us a rerun? You're trying to calm him down by giving him a rerun? Ugh, you're so basic. Here we go.
Right now, as you can see, I'm checking my email and stuff. That's why I'm making a second video. I'm going to type to you in a little while that I'm redoing it. But I want you to know,
Hold on a minute.
different law, right?
Let's look at that computer screen.
Right now, as you can see, I'm checking my email.
Very blurry, kind of hard to tell which one of her 1100 accounts she's logged into. But that doesn't actually...
And stuff. That's why I'm making a second video. I'm going to type to you in a little while that I'm redoing it. But I want you to know one of the worries and concerns that you had was that I would be unfaithful to you or start looking for another man. Truth is, that can't be any further from the truth because I am loyal to you and only you and Master.
Lies, 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 lies. You've been thinking of Dan this whole time. You really look, you guys. This is another thing. The first person that she really she brings up in that interrogation room, somewhere between throwing Nick under the bus for this arrest and being a tour guide, she does reference Dan. That is who she's talking about in that interrogation video when she talks about an ex who won't speak to her anymore. Gee, Gypsy, wonder why he won't speak to you. Blessed, he probably had to block you on everything. She's that meme. Y'all ever see that meme, the Facebook meme, when they block? It's a snake in a bathtub. When they, when they block you on one account. Surprise, bitch. And it's that snake poking its head out of the tub. Yeah, that's Gypsy. That's why she had 11 billion accounts, keeping her eye on Dan.
I love and adore only you and Master. I am committed 100% to you both. I mean, I even wear this ring. It might sound silly, but I wear this ring as a symbol of hope for the both of us. For all of us. A hope that for a future together. A hope for just every dream that we ever want to come true. And that in case another guy comes around and says, hey, baby, baby, I'm like, I'm taken. Happily taken. And I just want you to...
Did I not say any of that out loud? Did I say that all muted? Oh, hell. All right. So Ree says, notice how every quote unquote man she lures in is either an did I? Can y'all hear me now? Lord Jesus. Let me start again. All right. Ree says, notice how every man she lures in is either an addict, mentally disabled, mentally ill, and or a criminal. Wonder why? Look at her. I was mutated. What? They say that you vibe with your tribe. So there you go.
Know that I love and adore you, and you have my full support. You have all of me, not just a part of me. You have all of me. And I want you to be respectful to the judge, like you were saying. I'd suggest wearing blue still, because it is a common color, and you want to show your innocence. And
oh, for the love of Pete. Is that why you showed up, Gypsy, wearing gray and your whole turtleneck sweater dealy bob was backwards? Yeah. Fantastic. I'm really going to take fashion advice from someone who's wearing Mima's tablecloth.
And it's really important. I just want you to know that don't worry, because even if it is the worst of circumstances, that even if you have to do jail time, make sure to tell Allie what prison and the exact address, because I will write to you. I know inmates can get letters. I will write to you. There will not be a single hour or second that you won't be on my mind. So I want you to know that.
She does. Ree says, listen, she thinks everything through thoroughly, but Nick was the mastermind. You're not wrong. She does. She's thought it. She's even telling him what his outfit of the day should be. Now, Amber, I would love to leave Mima's tablecloth out of it, but Gypsy has decided to wear it and try to calm people down. Oh, God. With that voice that sounds like a chipmunk going through a wood chipper.
I am always thinking about you.
All I can hear when she talks is, Christmas, Christmas time is here. You know, from the Chipmunks. That's all I can think of.
Always on my mind. You're always on my heart and in my heart and in my dreams. And if it's just paying a fine, then wonderful. At least it's no jail time, right? Because that would be a prison sentence for me too. I mean, I won't be behind bars, but I won't be able to talk to you.
Oh!
Have you?
You're trying to calm him down now by making it about you. Wow, Gypsy. You're a peach. Girl.
In my life, and you're the only thing that keeps me sane sometimes. Sometimes I just want to go insane, but you're the only thing that stops me from going insane. You keep me calm, you keep me collected. And I know sometimes I do that for you. We're each other's Xanaxes. And just know that I'm here for you, for love and support and complete commitment. And for that day on your trial date, just be on your best of behavior. I know that you're going to want to, let that dominant side out in you because they're going to be really grilling you about it. But just stay calm, agree with the judge, be on your best behavior, and come home to me. Come home to your soulmate because I can't live without you. If it is the worst, then I'll send you letters and I will be faithful and wait till you get out. And I don't want you to worry about my safety. I'll be safe. I'm always safe. I have a pit bull of a mom, as you know.
What? Back the milk truck up. You've got a pit bull of a mom. You'll be safe. You're always safe? Now, Gypsy, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you tell the whole world that your mom, just maybe 2 years prior, tied you to the bed with a dog leash? Starved you? Isn't that what you said? Gypsy. The lies you tell.
So I'll be safe, and I pray that the Lord takes you in the palm of his hand and keeps you safe. I just want to put you in bubble wrap so nothing bad will ever happen to you.
What? You want to put him in bubble wrap so nothing bad will ever happen to Nick? You are the something bad that happened to Nick. Look, Nick had some very, very disturbing thoughts. He did. Justice Jane, this is the time that Nick got arrested at McDonald's, and he was charged with possession of a weapon and disorderly conduct. Both are misdemeanors. Back in 2013. But yeah, so you're the something bad that happened to him. And this is why people, hi, I'm people, see, are so irritated and disgusted by this whole entire situation. Okay? Because Gypsy could have gotten out of prison, kept her head down, went on about her life, and just lived in anonymously, right? But she didn't. As soon as she found out that she was up for parole, she worked a deal out with Lifetime, right? And that's the whole Prison Confessions. What was that? 4 episodes, something like that. All those, right? Which followed her while, she was awaiting parole and all the way up until her parole hearing, and then ending with when they told her that she was going to be paroled, right? And then after that, she gets another deal to do, love after lockup or whatever, because there still is, I think it's Life After Lockup. It used to be on I don't know who's airing it now, but anyway, she did that show, right? She had just gotten out. She had all kinds of press engagements lined up. She did a ton of interviews, except those things are not just like on a whim. Okay. And beyond that, before she even got out, one of her friends from in prison, right, created social media accounts for her. And so when she came out, she already had a following. Justified. She posted online in an hour after her release, very quickly. And you know why? Because she already had those social media accounts built up. Her friend had done that for her. She didn't want to come out and, she didn't want, to come out and live a quiet life. She came out, she wanted to tell another story, her story. This time it was the truth, blah, 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 blah. And she wanted to be famous. That's what she wanted. The problem with that is that fame requires you having a talent, a skill, something that sets you apart. What she ended up with was infamy. And what she thought she could do is while you were in the clink, you should have used the law library, because if you had used the law library, you would have understood that as soon as Nick's case had his appeals were effectively over at the state level, that all of this could be released. All of the investigation materials could have been released. Of course, they would do some with redactions, and there will be stuff that never gets released. But mainly that has to do with like Dee Dee's autopsy pictures. Okay. So she did ask for this. She wanted the spotlight on her. Well, the thing about infamy is that it's a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways. Be careful what you wish for. You got to take the bitter with the sweet. When people start to look, they're going to keep looking, and they're going to keep looking, and they're going to keep looking, and they're going to keep looking. And the fact of the matter is that all of those networks all then promoted all the old things, all the old documentaries, interviews, etc., specials, whatnot, that they had done on this case. And then you hear the new stuff, and the new stuff contradicts the old stuff. And that's how it started. That's it. It's as simple as that. The reason why people are looking at you is because of you. It's your words. I had hope for Gypsy. I was like, you know what? She's probably worried. She's got, she doesn't have any real life skill. She's probably trying to get a little nest egg worked up, right? And I really thought that after all the, hoopla around, her leaving and divorcing Ryan, and then getting with Ken, and then her pregnancy, I thought, you know what? She's got a kid. She's going to chill out. Nope. Couldn't have been more wrong. I really hoped that she would just live a quiet life. You didn't want a quiet life. Well, you got to take the bitter with the sweet, Toots.
But it'll be okay, my love. I promise. I promise you that I will always be here and love you and adore you with every fiber of my being. I always will. I love you and adore you, my amazing, wonderful king. And I hope we'll be able to make it through this. We will make it through this, I promise. Come home to me.
Come home to me. Ugh. Reese says she only hated the fame when the men she was dating didn't like the attention. Exactly. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Amelia Sparkles. 45 months of membership. Wow. Thank you, babe. That's a long time. She's nothing but cringe. I just, I don't know. I think a lot of the reason why Gypsy annoys me is because you said what you said, you did what you did, and, now you're upset. You don't like it. You thought you could control the narrative. You thought that you could come out here and say whatever you said and lie in front of God and everyone, and nobody was going to catch it. You already knew, Gypsy, that you had people that weren't buying your story. And it wasn't just like people like us, like regular all day, everyday people. You know what I mean? It was also Dee Dee's family. A couple of Dee Dee's sisters. And this happened a long time ago. They were online while she was in jail or while she was in prison. And I really thought that they were going to write a letter to the parole board. And I don't know if they did or not, but I feel like if they had, I kind of wonder how much weight that would have carried with the parole board. Because, usually victim impact statements, do tend to carry more weight than, just, the people in support of the parole. And the thing about it is, I can't imagine that Gypsy walked in there. Maybe she did. Maybe she acted like she was remorseful. I don't know. Whatever she did, she pulled the wool all the way over their eyes. And it's frustrating. It's really frustrating to I'm sorry, you guys. It's really frustrating to watch it happen, where and it's even more frustrating when you see comments of people asking like, well, what about Nick? Nick's no saint. Both things can be true at the same time. Saying that Gypsy shouldn't have gotten the deal that she got and she probably should still be in prison. The remedy for that is not letting Nick out. He has his own issues and his own circumstances that need to be dealt with. Okay. And on top of it, they took a freaking life. They need to be punished. Okay. So the answer isn't the way to fix this issue isn't to, oh, well, let's just let Nick out. No, that's not the way to fix things. And I feel like that's how that I see it in the comments a lot, that people kind of feel like they're either really firmly on Nick's side or Gypsy's side. And the truth of the matter is Dee Dee's the one who's the fucking victim. She's the one who was murdered. She's the one who was stabbed repeatedly. Her neck was sawed at from behind. She's screaming for her daughter, which that has never sat right with me either. That, that she called for Gypsy. I don't know. That has never made sense to me. If you don't know who's attacking you, right? Why would you ever alert your attacker that there was somebody else in the house, especially if that someone else was your child? This is why I've always suspected that Gypsy was in the room. Because, she says, Nick locked me in the bathroom. Okay, Amber Heard. I guess we're going to have to go through another lesson on how doors work. The bathroom door locks from the inside. She could have left that bathroom at any time. He didn't lock her in there. He knocked because the door was locked from the inside. And exactly, Neat. Exactly. I don't hold any of the three completely innocent or completely guilty. I'm somewhere in between. And that's where I'm at. Cluck says, Chicken Lady says, Nick didn't get a fair trial, in my opinion. However, I don't think he should be out in the wild. I think that Nick got a fair trial. I think that his trial was fair in that sense. I do see that there were deficits in his defense. And here, but this is another really important thing for people to know. I think that his defense attorneys did the very best they could. The relationship between Nick and his defense attorneys was very contentious. Nick did not trust them. And so he wasn't open with them. And I think the other part of it that so competent to stand trial, the bar for that is really, really low. But one of the elements, and I think this is an incredibly important element, and this is where I'm not sure that Nick met the criteria for competency. One of the elements is that you must be able to aid in your own defense. And I don't think that Nick could do that. I think that I don't think it's because he wasn't intelligent enough. I don't think that Nick understood what it was that he needed to tell his attorneys, what he should share with his attorneys that would help them know how to best defend him. That's where I think the issue is. Wolfie, oh, hey babe, how are you? So Ree says, partially agree, Nick is where he should be, but the larger injustice is that Gypsy got off with a slap on the wrist. I think that Nick wouldn't have a safe space if he were left out sooner. He needs structure. I do agree that I don't think that prison is the ideal place for Nick. I think that he needs to be in a locked facility. And I do think that in many ways prison, like the structure of prison is probably good for Nick just because he knows what to expect day to day. But prison is also an incredibly dangerous place for Nick. He's quite easily manipulated. And I do think that he seems to have this real need to prove that he's smart. And sometimes it opens you up to be taken advantage of, particularly in prison. So, but I agree with Wolfie here. It is an ideal place for Gypsy. I would agree with that. So hang on a minute. Let me do something really quickly. I think I'm good for tonight. I want to organize some more of the stuff that some more of the videos, but I I really want to go through um, and Rod's in interviews with the police. I'm very, very curious about what they had to say. I haven't listened to them before. And so where's it at? I definitely want to go through that, but I try, like, what I'd really like to do is, hold on. What I'd really like to do, I like to go through the videos, but I also like to give them I go through them in context. Like, I want to give you guys context about like what all is going on in the back, in the background, what was going on in terms of their relationship, the timeline of things, how soon, was this, before the murder. Also, I want to give you guys like, okay, now we're seeing these videos and this is coming out, right? Or this is, she's saying about, I'm sorry. Now these videos have come out, right? But she also gave 11 billion interviews, and I'd like to be able to point out what she said in the past, and if it contradicts what she's saying now, which 9 times out of 10 it does. I don't know, MJ. Wolfie, I almost read your whole handle. I'm curious about that too. As far as I know, the only thing that she has really said about the videos is that basically she's not gonna address it, that this was a very long time ago and she has grown and moved on. So this question comes up a lot. Hey, Shamina. Shamina says, is she able to profit off of her crime? Yeah, she is. Missouri does not have a son of Sam law or anything, any variable of that. And federally, the son of Sam law has been ruled unconstitutional. So there's a lot of, but there are loopholes. Okay. For example, one of the loopholes would be if Dee Dee's family, if her siblings had started a wrongful death lawsuit against Gypsy. If that had happened, they could have effectively taken part of her income from all of the shows and everything. So, but I think that at this point, the statute of limitations on filing a wrongful death lawsuit has run out. So, yeah, she is absolutely allowed to do it. And it's very unfortunate. But I'm really tired of Gypsy coming. Gypsy, I want you to listen to me, please. Okay? Stop telling people that you've grown. Stop telling people that you've changed. Okay? You have to show people that you've grown and that you've changed. And when we see you giving interviews and making TikToks and Instagram posts, and they're all the same, filled with the flowery, he's perfect, she's perfect, we have a perfect life, everything is perfect. Okay? When we see you doing that, that lets us know you haven't grown. Nothing has changed. You still talk about, I'm finally gonna get my happily ever after. It's like a fairy tale. Dreams really do come true. Like, we hear that. You still say that crap. Bro, you're like, what, 30 years old? Come on. The reality, you freaking did time in prison. Like, that hasn't, made you get realistic about the way the world is? Come on. Stop playing with these people. You are realistic about the world and how it works. You know exactly how it works. You're a con. Stop playing. That whole, you know, everything's, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, and these are fire, right? That whole thing, that is your mask. That's not the real you. And you know it. And what you're mad about is that the videos show that you had a lot more freedom than what you told people. And once people start to question one thing, it's like friggin' dominoes, lady. Come on. You were in the freaking clink. You know how this works. Stop it. You can't be shocked. Can't be shocked. This cannot come as a shock to you. You know? All right, you guys. No, she's not. She's not even sorry. She's not even a little bit. And Wolfie says she's not even sorry. She manipulated people. That's what she does. That's exactly what she does. She's a con. Absolute con. She's an absolute con. All right, you guys. I only wanted this to be an hour, and now I've already gone an hour and 15 minutes. What I've done is my friend ATS News has a live, so I'm just going to redirect you guys over there. Go check her out. Most of you guys that are in here know her, but she does great content. But if you're new to the channel and you don't know ATS News, go check her out and tell her that Bindi sent you. And I will be back here tomorrow night, and we are going to do we're going to do more Gypsy. Thank you, Jen. I hope I feel better too. Thank you, Lisa. I mean, I don't know anybody that actually likes to be sick, but it doesn't happen to me very often. Oh, thank you, Ree. I'm glad you liked it. It doesn't happen to me very often, and I especially can't stand it when I'm like my nose is stuffy. I can't stand breathing out of my mouth. All right. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll see you back here tomorrow. MJ, golly. See, I don't like these handles either. Woofy, you don't need to do Gypsy, but you do need to come back here tomorrow night and be with me so we can properly talk all the smack and say all of the things that need to be said about this heifer. All right, you guys. All right, you guys, let's go head over to ATS News and tell her that Bindi sent you. All right, you guys have a great rest of your night. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the stream. And if it lets you hype. All right, bye, y'all.